Hello. Good morning.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Don't do that to me, like, moving your lips but not talking, because that scares like everything out of me, because then I think that we have sound issues again. So please don't do that to
Oh,
me.
we should. Actually, I didn't do it. I just wanted to go into talking, but then you were talking, and then I couldn't start talking. Anyway, let's start talking. Hello,
Let's start
everyone.
talking. Hello, everyone. I'm Astrid. I'm head of events at devcom, and I'm here with the lovely André Bernhard, who is an indie advisor and also
Ready for
devcom's
duty.
indie advisor. Right. And we haven't been online for quite a long time. I think it has been 3 months.
Incredible. Is it such a long time that DevCom has already passed by?
No,
I
but I
remember
mean,
now it's
for
October.
vertical
Ah, yes.
slice, vertical
Yes, you're right.
slice, because the last
Yes,
time that we
incredible.
were online with vertical slice, which is devcom's indie show, pretty much, I think that was
Yeah.
July, because afterwards we went into a little short break to do all the recordings for devcom's NRW Indie Expo.
You're right. And we did a lot of videos.
We did, but today we're going to do another like nice video. Actually, not. We're going to have a live stream. That's what we're doing right now. Oh, I'm talking like nonsense. I'm sorry. I'm excited. I'm excited because it has been such a long time.
Yeah. And we're not used to it anymore. No, these are the things that you don't forget. It's good to see you again, actually, Astrid, and good to see all of the people within the chat. Hello, everyone. It's been a while, and good to see you. Good to have you all back.
Yay. Vegapink is
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Of
yeah.
course. And
But we are
Michael, the
to.
real haircut, is there. And also Dargo. And you know who's also there? Dan and Patrick.
Yeah, right. Very good introduction. Let's bring them in.
Hey,
Hello, everyone. Good
Magic.
morning.
good
Magic.
morning. Hi, guys.
Hello. Hi,
I,
everyone.
I pushed the buttons and I did it good. Yeah, I mean, that was already like a very, very quick introduction, but maybe you like introduce yourself because like Dan and Patrick, I mean, there are some person around, who might have the same name. Who want to start? Who want to go first?
Patrick, you go first.
I go first. Yeah,
Youth
good.
before beauty.
I go for. Yeah. Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm Patrick. I'm the founder, CEO, and creative director of Mad About Pandas, a Berlin-based game development studio. We've been around for quite a while, and we're here today to talk about our latest game, Hitchhiker. And next to me is, I don't know if I point in the right direction. Nope, I'm like
Nope.
this way. This is Dan. So,
Hi, I'm Dan Mayer. I'm the writer and co-creative director with Patrick, and responsible for Hitchhiker. I guess he and I are like the Siegfried and Roy of the uh, passenger simulator game. Yeah, happy to be here and play some Hitchhiker.
Hitchhiker.
Maybe we want to start off with the trailer to just give people a
Yeah,
sense of what this weird game is all about.
that
Yeah, and
sounds
then
like a
I will
very good
ask some
idea.
more questions about not walking simulator, but driving simulator. No, let's see what kind of game this is after we took a look at the trailer.
passenger simulator.
Yeah, where did you came up with that name now? Like passenger simulator?
It's
Never.
kind of a joke. I think we were making fun of how little there is to do in the game.
Yeah, it's a long story.
Violence and language. That's a good
My
start.
favorites.
You really don't remember anything? What you were fighting about? What happened next? Listen, there's something at the end of this road that you don't want to find.
Memory is a slippery thing. Think about when somebody asks you about this ride later. And your brain will flash back for a second when you say this. And it'll show you a frozen snapshot of yourself, sitting in this car, talking to me like we are right now.
These were things I remembered from clues I found along the highway.
There's a price to be paid for everything on this highway. Come on. Time to be forgiven. And time to hit the road.
Yep, just your average passenger simulator.
Your average person. So I'm not pretty sure if people in the audience, in the chat, are now understanding way better what's going on within the game. But if you have to describe it in your own word, what would the game would be about? Passenger simulator?
It's like a lucid dream where you're in a car and hitching rides, and not everything is as it seems. And you come to realize that the basic challenge is you don't know who you are or where you're going, and the challenge is to find out through your interactions with the drivers and the environment what happened to you and what your own backstory is.
Yeah, and it's also a great experiment, you know, like talk about the fact that we've been created a game, you know, we give the player usually a lot of agency in an immersive world, but what we did do is like we put the player into a passenger seat where we basically like a limited ways to interact with the environment, because you would think you can drive the car yourself. No, you can't. You're like sitting in the passenger seat while you like actually focus on having a dialogue with the driver. But of course, also there is a lot of interaction within the car or in the environment, which was like the challenge we had, you know, to make it interesting. So
Yeah.
of course there's a lot of dialogues, but there's also a lot of like mini games and puzzles within the game.
It's one of these great like creative constraints that then gives a lot of ideas. Like once you take something off the table, like driving or running around or shooting or jumping or whatever, then suddenly there's kind of all these like trapdoors that open in your one's creative mind about things that can happen and directions that you can take that in. I think we were also like from the beginning, we were really zeroed in on this road trip feeling. Like when you're sitting in a passenger seat and the highway is going by and you're talking to someone, you're very like relaxed because there's a sense of motion, but then you're very sort of like receptive to everything that's happening conversationally. So this kind of like deep conversational connection that you can get into on road trips. So Patrick and I both spent time in Northern California, which is like a great place for road trips. And so I think we were kind of tapping into this shared experience.
So did you do a load of road trips to get into the mood of making this game, or to prepare for the background info that you need? No. How did you come up with the idea of doing such a game?
There's a fateful dinner that I had with Patrick at an Indian restaurant in Berlin where he pitched me on this idea. He had done a truck simulator game, and he had this like leftover game engine basically. And he said, I want to do something different and more like subversive with this. And so he said, he said like everybody's done a driving game, but nobody's done a passenger game. Of course, since Hitchhiker has come out, there have been some other hitchhiking games and road trip games, but at the time
you were the first then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were discussing the idea, how can we translate this into like an emotional experience the players can have, you know? So you're hitchhiking, what does it mean? Like driving from A to B, what is the destination? Can you translate this into like a meaning for the game? So, you know, you are aimless, you I don't know, you just dropped out of school and you try to figure out what you're going to do next in your life, or what did happen. So we were had this conversation about this, and then we came to the idea that this could be translated to like an emotional story about like a relationship, basically like a road trip game, you know, where the story is about like your love, basically. So
I just put like the Steam link into the chat so people can actually check the game also out.
I have to get the Steam keys for our friends. Yes.
But the truck simulation you did before, that was not based on love anyhow and emotion, but it was more like a typical truck simulator.
It was totally by the books.
Okay. But how do you turn? I mean, what do I have to imagine from a leftover game engine?
Yeah. Well, the dream of every developer is, or at least also from the management side, is like, oh, we invested so much time and money into technology. Can we reuse it? Can we make something out of it? And save us a lot of time and money.
Yeah.
And so that was my idea. Like, can we use this technology for another game? And so that's kind of how it
Of course,
started.
it
But-
turned out not to be usable at all.
Exactly.
But
Like,
still,
we had to
it was-
start from scratch.
It was this conceptual springboard, though. But
Yes.
That-
We actually, in the end, like 3 assets of the truck simulation game made into the game, like a bridge and like something like tiny, which is like maybe would cost like an artist like a 1 day or 2 to create. So,
but it was helpful in terms of getting the game off the ground because we reskinned that truck sim footage to make an art concept trailer, and that we did basically for like $5, and that somehow got the attention of Killstream, and they wrote a little review on it, and that's what brought it to the attention of Humble Bundle, who then produced our prototype, which then eventually led to the game getting full funding and coming out on Apple Arcade and every platform. And so the making of the game in itself is like a long, weird road trip odyssey with lots of twists and turns.
That's right. Yeah. So the original prototype was available, and this is like now a Mumble Bundle in the Humble Trove. If you have a monthly subscription of the Humble Bundle monthly, and then it's a Humble Original in the Humble Trove. So that was pretty successful, actually. That was actually, in a strange way, even more successful than the full version of the game.
But
So
just to make sure, the Humble Trove, if I remember this correctly, this is just like as long as you have the Humble monthly subscription. This is, by the way, not a sponsored session by Humble in any kind. We're just curious on the humbleness of Humble Bundle.
Yes.
In the Humble Trove, all the games are for free for those people who did subscribe to the service, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. And you can play as long as you are part of the subscription, and then you drop out of it. Okay.
It's only the first ride, and a much more like simplified version of that first ride. Yeah.
But you got some feedback then from the people playing it. I mean, do you get some feedback from this prototype experience? That
It was useful in that sense, and it was also good just for scaling. Like, it allowed us to kind of catch our breath and evaluate what we had done and what was working well and what we wanted to improve and what we wanted to change. And so I think it was really useful that we got to do it in this kind of iterative way.
Yeah. It also helped us find funding for the full version of the game. I mean, Humble Bundle themselves were interested to fund the game, but then they got bought by IGN, and it changed the whole routine over there. But they were cool and said, like, yes, you can use the prototype, even though we kind of funded the prototype to go pitch it to other publishers. And then thanks also to Humble Bundle and the Humble Trove, there was a lot of awareness about the game. So like the trailer we created had like hundreds of thousands of views. And that helped us a lot to pitch the game to publishers and showing them there's already like awareness. And then we found Versus Evil, who funded the full version of the game.
Yeah. Did you find them, or did they find you?
Actually, a good friend from Berlin, Rebecca, helped me find them because I was at the PAX event, PAX fair in what was it, in Boston? I think I was there with the Goethe Institute. They invited like 10 studios to come to Boston
PAX.
to PAX to showcase our games. There was like our fellow friends from like Lost Ember was there, and what is it called, the puking game. Death Trash was there, and
puking. We should play that also at some time. The puking game.
Hours of fun.
I don't know why I call it puking game, but there's lots of puking there. Death Trash was there, and lots of cool like German games, and I was like running around just like pitching to publishers, and the PAX is actually a very great environment for this because it's very open, like the publishers have their booth there, and it's open. You can directly go there and address the people, talk to them. You get to speak to someone, and it's unlikely like as a Gamescom. There, you really go to the business area, and the Gamescom, you have to have an appointment before you go there. Otherwise, you just stand in front of a white wall,
And you
and
don't
there's a
get in.
receptionist who say like, "No, sorry, you can't get in." So PAX is great for indie developers to do that, and I was there running around pitching like crazy, and Rebecca, I think she's like a known person in the industry. She was back then working, I think, in Berlin from, I don't know, was she working for MediaNet? Now she's working for Coffee Stain, I think, or another publisher. I'm sorry, I don't want to say anything wrong, but Rebecca was like actually on Facebook asked me, "Hey, how is doing? How's PAX? So did you meet Lance from Versus Evil?" I said, "No, I haven't." So then she like, while I was in Boston, she was in Berlin. She did some Facebook messaging, and I walked over to their booth. He was already expecting me, and then I had the great chance to pitch the game to him. And
Yeah.
well, then it took a couple of weeks, a month, and of following up on all these like potential leads, and then apparently they came back and said like, "We want to do it," and I was like, "Great!" So because pitching also is all a lot about rejection. Also, you have to pitch your game like 20 times before you hit it. Tough stuff.
Talking about the game, I actually already started in the background, and I mean, we could actually switch over, right?
Let's roll.
Yes, we can. But while we do so, there was a question in the chat about whether it's right that you have to build a bong within the trailer. No, but that was that the magic camera?
Yeah.
The magic camera.
Next game we'll have a bong.
Interesting. So before we start the game, so it's like it starts very slow. So be prepared, and like each ride has a couple of mini games and environmental puzzles, but especially the first ride that's very slow. But this is actually part of the concept.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that we just start a new game, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, it's always I recommend to get the game all by yourself, because I will try. We can't listen to the audio all of the time, because otherwise we will just be listening to the audio of the game, I guess, more or less. Because it's always hard to showcase those games that are quite very strong on the narrative side.
Yeah.
But we put like subtitles on.
Is the game more about hitching or more about hiking?
A little from column A, a little from column B. But there's no point where you actually stand on the road and try to flag down a car or anything like that.
Well, we could solve this with audio right at the beginning.
So this is who am I, where am I moment here. And this weird dude Vern on your left.
You can play it with gamepad and also with mouse and keyboard, which I find very feasible because I'm not that good with like controllers, so I'm very grateful that I can actually play it with mouse and keyboard. What do we have here? Oh.
I mean, it's available on nearly every platform right now.
Yes, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, PC, and Apple Arcade, which is like the...
Oh.
And we are currently working on the VR version of the game, which should be
I thought so.
done very soon.
Not the talkative type, eh?
Is like the narrative, is it too loud for you? Or is the volume good? It's good, okay. Then we can stay with it.
Want a raisin?
Oh.
Your first big fork in the road moment.
Must be a nice person. Actually, never take anything you know from strangers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Words to live by. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Guess those things don't agree with you yet.
So we really wanted to combine like these very mundane moments and then these completely surreal things that come out of the blue. It's like very, very Lynchian.
You want to know the clearest evidence that reality isn't real?
How does it work with the street? I mean, if I wait forever now to give an answer,
Yeah,
is
you
the
can go get a cup of coffee and do a crossword puzzle and come back, and it'll still be there.
and the nature around? How does yeah, but it's procedural generated what's happening outside, or how does that work?
It's a magic trick. It's a magic trick.
It's a magic trick.
Yeah.
You don't want to explain to
No.
not spoil the magic then.
It's a magic trick. Yeah, no, he's driving. It's a road trip game. It's like
Yeah, sure.
hundreds of kilometers. Like, and you wonder
mean,
why. I mean, like, Vern himself, the driver, would give you a hint about like what's going on about the driving if you get to the end of his chapter, and you choose to what do you say? How do you say that, Dan? You choose not to go with the birds, but you don't trust him, basically, right?
Yeah.
Then he talks about that. What the hell are we doing here? Why are we driving like this? So there's an explanation about this. So I can't tell.
Okay.
Comes towards the end. It's a kind of ironic statement.
One
I
thing
will
that's
just
been,
answer me now.
Raisins and grapes. They're the same thing, but they taste disgusting when eaten together.
I've never tried that. Have you ever tried like?
Program there, right?
Have you ever tried eating raisins and grapes at the same time?
I did, and that was where the line came from. I realized they're disgusting when eaten together.
Aye.
Keep going and get someplace where
Does
somebody
that
can
also
ask you,
belong on the
"Hey,
experience
how'd
the
you
two
get
of you
here?"
had
They'll
that you put into the game, like eating raisins?
There's a
and
big
grapes
bag
together?
of leftover ideas and strange thoughts and everything that all got kind of the whole sack got emptied out into this game.
Yeah.
Sitting in this car, talking to me like we are right now. But which moment will it actually show you?
Oh.
This one.
I must admit, I played like the first chapter before to get to know the game a little bit.
Mhm.
So I already noticed that something is like
Remember how people
something changed since the first time I played it.
lives together.
Oh, okay.
But when we think back
But I mean, all you can do actually while talking about taking away freedom of the player is like you can interact inside the car. But when we switch to the outside point of view, for example, that's also triggered by the game itself, and not. I can't just take a different look at the action as the player.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a little cut, basically.
Okay.
And we use that in various situations to kind of draw the player's attention to something specific
In grape situations? No.
in certain situations. Yeah.
Okay.
my wife.
But yeah, there's a lot of grape and raisin puns if you like that kind of thing.
He's dead now, but you probably guessed that.
How long have you been working on the title? From the, I mean, as it sounds like a long history that you had there already. I mean, with the truck simulation first, then the prototype, and all the humble things.
Yeah, it was very, as I say, it was its own long, winding journey. It was very stop and start. So, like, we worked on, for example, the prototype, full on for several months, and then we kind of waited and pitched the game and so forth. So, I mean, I think we first started on it in, was it 2016, just to kind of like incubate the idea. But then it was, there were periods of like great activity, and then periods where we were kind of, waiting and mulling and planning.
Yeah.
Takes one to know one, right?
But-
I can always spot someone who's grieving along this highway. They usually stand on the road with a dazed look on their face and their thumb up in the air.
So there's a weird writing challenge of telling the player a lot about who the player character is, but always through these dialogues where only one person is talking. So
Yeah.
it's don't try this at home. It's not easy. Again, this is like, I found this whole project was full of these really fascinating constraints of like, if you can't do thing A and thing B and thing C, then it makes things D and E all the more like interesting.
But I mean, can I fail within the game? Will I reach the end somehow, or do I need to stick to
the failing is purgatory, so you're just in an endless loop, right? That's basically the closest condition that we put the player into failure, which is a kind of existential torture. But you can't die, and you don't get points or anything, except for one moment where we actually kind of spoof that that whole dynamic. I mean, we wanted something where there's sort of no UI and no bells and whistles, and just this very like nothing between you and this road trip experience, right? And there was also an intentional choice to make the controls very simple and intuitive, so that yeah, there's nothing, there's kind of like no filter between you and the experience.
By the way, 937 is asking within the chat how this game could get a Peggy 6 rating while you talk about while you have language and violence in it, as well as hallucinogenic drugs.
Yeah.
Songs.
What color are my eyes?
So there's language because you know, if you go on a road trip and you meet real people, some of them are probably going to swear, and we wanted that kind of realism around that. But the violence is just very implied, right? So like there's we
polite
really strongly didn't want to make any kind of like slasher game. There's never a point where the driver pulls a knife on you or anything. We thought this would be like completely cliche and totally orthogonal to what we wanted to do.
Okay, so there are no jump scare moments where suddenly the driver turns into, I mean,
the only jump scare involves tumbleweeds with eyeballs.
Okay.
Can I mention that, like, you know, that wasn't there before, just appeared here?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you can't mention it in the game, but you can mention it now, and it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just mention that. And also, that guy told me that I'm a photographer.
Yeah. Again,
guessing by my little
get some
backpack.
clues.
And I think he called me Anselm or something like that. Or maybe I just.
Oh, Ansel Adams, who's making fun of you.
He's making fun of me. Copernicus. Okay. Where are we heading, actually?
Much profit in talking geography with someone who doesn't know where he's going or where he's from.
He's not useful.
He's such a jerk.
He's actually asking this. Vern is asking you where you're headed in the beginning of the game, and you basically can't answer that question because this is kind of the story of your road trip, finding out like what you're doing and where you're heading to. And you know, the more you get into the game, you find out like why you're on this road trip and what it means. So it's kind of a reflection actually of like what happened in the past, basically. But that's kind of a spoiler.
Sorry, and you also mentioned that it has like some puzzle elements. Like, should I like watch actually my environment while it's driving there?
Sure, the billboards tell you some clues.
Yes, there are a lot of like each ride has like a couple like environmental puzzles, but they are like it's like, how can I say this? Like, of course, it's a narrative game, so it's based on interactive dialogues, but there's interactive puzzles in every ride. So, but in the first ride, it's like the major puzzle is in the end of the chapter. Oh, you found the matchbook. There's something about this matchbook, actually.
I also saw like an ad at the street from Dante's Diner, right?
Yeah.
And someone needs my help.
Everything has a meaning in this game.
You know, when I was a kid.
Ooh, there's a story about this. Let's listen to this for a moment.
What you got there?
Oh, I was mentioning the matchbook.
Spooky sounds.
Yeah. So like conceal or just tell him? I mean, I'm an honest person.
I used to leave those all over my car in case my car got lost and somebody.
Oh.
Yeah, feel free to call me anytime you get in trouble.
Banal explanation.
Oh. I thought there was like more exciting background story on that matchbook.
Yeah,
it comes up though later.
It will come back later. Yeah. Again, this starts very slowly. This game. Oh, now comes my favorite part.
30 verses, each about a different kind of grain.
I remember that part.
There's a story to this as well. I have to check which version we have here right now. Ah, yeah, yeah. Here we go.
So catchy.
In hell they have a hell a lot of bread. Oh yeah, that drove mom and dad crazy. Come on, join in.
See, who
So
says the
before you
game isn't interactive?
continue, so the fun part is like, we had to change this song because of yeah. How can I put this? So the original song is it's about challah bread. In hell they have a hell amount of challah bread, and challah bread is actually like a bakery from Israel, basically.
Yeah.
Aye.
So, and there were some concerns that, I mean, this could be, and this is a very difficult discussion here, that this could be seen as anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Because we're saying in hell they have a lot of challah bread.
Yeah.
So they made us change it to bala bread, basically.
Well, they wanted to take it out, and that was our solution, was to
Yeah.
reverse backmask his voice there. So we wound up
Yep.
with Bala bread.
Yeah. I think
What
the
a
PC
catchy
version,
song.
yeah, and you can actually sing along if you now. Did you choose to sing along?
Yeah.
I did.
Oh,
You missed that.
oh yeah. Then the radio is also singing the song. It's a silly moment in this game. It's like a really awkward, weird situation, and I love it so much.
The first pass at the script was really like everything was really full of meaning, and it was more kind of like tilted on the philosophical side. And then we really felt like it needs more silly road trip moments as well, like dumb games and songs, and this feeling of being kind of bored in the car with somebody. So that was what birthed the Bala bread song.
Thanks. I got it from an app. It's this app with philosophical sayings. My wife got it for me to make me sound smarter.
I need that app as well.
Yeah. Oh, you need Dan. That helps as well. Dan is full of great ideas.
So Dan
Well,
can be
that
my app.
is-
Let me start Dan.
There's a lot of Dan humor in this game, but it's a very good sense of humor.
Okay, well, what we learned so far, I mean, the game is based on chapters. There are different rides with everyone. There are no points, and there is no really, I mean, did you have, are there achievements in it? Something that, I guess there are achievements.
There are achievements. And we played early on with ideas of like answering one question, like answering a question a certain way makes the driver do more this or more that. These more sort of like deterministic models. But then we felt like that made the dialogue really unnatural and kind of contrived. So in the end, we just leaned fully into this sort of interactive narrative experience.
Yeah, the challenge of the game is actually to put these lots of pieces, puzzle pieces you'll get from the drivers together and create your own like interpretation of like what has happened actually to yourself and who you are. So because this is what it's all about, and each ride has a specific atmosphere and meaning, which is part of the how can I say this, like journey of yourself, which we translated to a mood with each ride and character. So each ride is representing a specific emotion. Like Vern, we are here having right now is kind of, I can say that not exactly like about denial. Like he's trying to keep like the truth away from you. Like the cloth box. See the cloth box right now is like
it's
part of it.
Freudian glove box.
Yes.
Full of memories.
So this is a very important scene. Like,
and when I play it, I get to learn more about the ego, the inner self of the avatar itself, or does it also change me as a person playing it, to frame it a bit more metaphoric or metaphysical?
Does it change you as a person playing it?
Yeah, I mean, is it all about? Do I learn something about the
it's
avatar?
A therapy game. It's a therapy game.
Yeah, I mean.
Actually, yes. I mean, we have wonderful like critics people saying this game is about like
changed my life.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, we are like. Dan, can you quote this guy? This one guy. Was he like from the U.S. Parliament or someone who wrote that?
Yeah, we've got a couple. I mean, some of the reviews have talked about how it's about love and life and all these important things, and people have written reviews saying that their tears are running down their cheeks as they're writing it. I mean, people have been very affected by the game and have said that it's really even changed their perspective on things, which is very high praise.
I will now check the picture, and as this is like an important scene, I'm just, interrupting you.
Go for it.
Go for it. Ta-da!
That's not her. Ha! And that guy there, he looks like you.
Looks like us. Looks like me.
Huh. Well, I actually want to ask like both questions. Okay, I go with this one first.
I don't know. I was going to ask you the same question, Copernicus. Did he? Who gave this to you?
He? Who's he?
It's your glove box, man.
Well, I guess it belongs to you. You better hold on to it.
He's not useful. Sorry to say it, but he's not useful.
No,
you begin to realize that
that's his role. Actually,
he's purposely obfuscating and trying to keep you from learning a painful truth that you maybe don't want to learn.
Is she dead?
Well, her. Well, hard to say.
Huh.
Wouldn't lose any sleep over it.
I hope not. Maybe she just broke my heart.
What's that black thing in the glove box anyway?
Yeah, and what's that thingy? Let me inspect that first.
Ah.
Wait, 1945, 54? What?
The farmer's journal.
Yeah, every farmer must have an almanac.
I have one at home as well, actually, but Chinese one.
The time frame of the game is also unclear. Like sometimes it seems like it's happening in the 1980s or 1990s or now or 1950s, or it's sort of deliberately unplaced in a not placed in a specific time.
Okay, yeah. Let's say there is a windmill.
No idea.
But I mean, how did this? Wasn't you supposed to find something with the glasses right now? I mean, to look out for the windmill.
Well, you just know that there's a windmill
Yeah,
somewhere.
the windmill is gonna be important. Oh, this is a scenic break.
This is a chance to just catch your breath if you want to, and then you click on the driver to continue.
There's actually player feedback, tester feedback, who say like, "Oh, can we have like a moment where we, pause
Get
the
to
game?"
process. Yeah.
Contemplate. Nice. And I mean, okay, just to make sure, we could drive on for 10 hours with this moment of contemplation that you just offered. Okay.
Yes.
Or you can have a reason joke.
He couldn't get a date.
Oh, come on, that is a sweet one.
That reminds me, it's almost 4:30. You'll like this. It's my favorite.
Finally, there's like a third person
The hostess, darling.
comes on stage
She
through the radio.
changed the tires on my truck
Oh.
on Highway 51.
Welcome to another Interstate Riddle Hour. Here's our first riddle. Keep your eyes peeled, all you blacktop carpetbaggers. I fly, yet I have no wings. I cry, yet I have no eyes. Darkness follows me. Lower light I never see.
I hate riddles.
We found that some people love riddles and some people don't, so you can choose how many you want to do, and you can kind of get some hints, some help if you want with the radio.
Get help off the radio. I mean, I fly, but I have no wings. I cry, but I have no eyes. Like maybe like a cloud. What was the third one? What was the third one?
Yeah.
Lower light I never
Something
see.
darkness. Yeah.
Find the correct. Oh, find the correct object.
Maybe we can like ask the audience for help.
Yeah. Anyone
There's
knows
some
me?
people here, I think. I mean,
Right.
there's 937, for instance, is following
Right.
us. Maybe he can help us, and if he gets it, we can give away some Steam keys for the game or something.
Oh, you got it right.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry, I was
Solve the
just
riddle,
too.
get some
I was too
keys.
excited. I'm so sorry.
Ah, there's more. There's more we can do with the audience.
A gatekeeper forever bound. What?
You
That
can,
was too fast for me.
you can click on the radio to
Yeah.
hear it again.
Need some help?
Can you repeat?
But first
Yeah.
of all, okay.
Shh, shh.
A gatekeeper forever bound. He opens and shuts with a similar sound.
I have no idea.
A raisin? Just kidding.
A raisin?
No, I'm just joking.
Again, okay, let me hear. Now I need the chat and the community. Let's hear the riddle again, okay?
Need some
Yes, please.
Okay.
A gatekeeper
Gatekeep-
forever bound. He opens and shuts with a similar sound.
I'm
Ooh.
so
Something in the car. You might even have been staring directly at it a moment ago.
Is that a gatekeeper? Nope.
No, it's a buffalo.
Maybe that is a gatekeeper?
No, that's a raisin guy.
Yeah. Let's try almanac. Nope.
This is the process of elimination approach.
Yes.
You can break down and get a hint from the radio.
But come on,
Nope,
Chef,
I'm
we are
not-
super bad. I guess you
I'm
could
not
do better at least.
Ready for a hint yet. And you say it's in the car?
Of course.
A gatekeeper forever
Oh.
bound.
Very good.
Oh,
I don't know
you
why
clicked on the
this is
zipper.
every day. Damn questions are rigged.
Oh, okay.
Fern also doesn't like riddles.
What pressure to keep his tires at.
Hey,
Having fun? Want to keep going?
I want one more. Yes.
Here's another.
Okay.
Take one out and scratch my head. I am now black.
Ha!
Once was red.
Ah.
What am I?
I know it.
Yeah, but we already, I think raisins are not good for me. Right?
Raisins,
one
the
out.
riddle. Matches. Matches.
Ah, the matches!
Yes,
Of course,
yes,
the
yes.
matches.
Whew, okay, at least that one I could solve.
Well done.
Oh, wait, but here's a tough one. One more?
Have 4 wings but cannot fly. I never laugh and never cry. On the same spot I'm always found, toiling away with little sound. What am I?
Okay, wait. 4 wings but cannot fly. Okay, let's listen to that again.
I have 4 wings but cannot fly.
Okay.
I never laugh and never cry. On the same spot I'm always found, toiling away with little sound.
I have no idea.
4 wings but cannot fly. I never laugh and never cry.
Get a hint. There's no shame in it.
Need some help?
Okay.
Round
Yeah, but I mean, it always.
Round and round we go, people? Huh?
What have you seen that goes round and round?
Huh? I mean, he is going round and round. Oh, wait, the wheel, like the steer? Wait. Nope, it has no wings.
Get another hint.
But usually, I mean, it must all be around in the car or somewhere visible here.
need some help?
Wait, what is...
You might need to get your binoculars out to find this object.
Uh-huh.
Not so close.
Uh-huh. Okay, then it's a windmill.
Ha! Ooh, yes!
All right, here's our last riddle.
Hmm.
He lies without touching the ground.
oh come on, Darlene.
Uh-huh.
Damn it, Darlene. I should have tipped her better when she changed the tires. She's been out to get me ever since.
Uh-huh.
She isn't being straight with you, kid.
Check the photo, Copernicus.
What have you done? What have you done? Well, but you said it's not like a scary game, right?
Well, it's creepy to the extent that there's horror. Like, this is it. It's psychological.
She's in trouble, Copernicus. You must help her.
So now you have a sense of a mission.
Things like that happen all the time on this highway. It's not
Uh-huh.
because you're scrunchy over.
What's the playthrough time
Kid,
in average?
sorry about your
What's that? Oh, about 3.5 hours.
I had nothing
Okay.
to do with it.
3.5 hours.
Just
Yeah.
the opposite. I was sent to protect you.
Depends how fast you are at solving riddles, though.
Yeah.
From yourself.
What?
And do you
picked
have-
this car every bit as much as I chose to start for you.
And do you have any plans to add additional content on it?
Yeah, we would love to expand the story a bit further.
Okay.
It's not the primary thing we're working on. We have a new game set in 1970s San Francisco that we're working on. But after that, we'd love to come back to Hitchhiker and expand the story and the universe.
Okay.
I think
Just let it go. There's nothing for you down that road. Nothing but hurt.
the riddle thing is very typical of the game, that there's a little mini puzzle, but in the end, it connects you to the story point that Vern has lied, that he's deceiving you somehow. So all of the interactions have some kind of like thematic connection to the story. They're not just like these isolated, interactions for the sake of interactions.
Yep.
Look, I admit I lied. But only about one thing.
How much time did you spend on finding the right voice actors?
Yeah, that was a whole adventure in and of itself. Berlin has some like a small circle of really outstanding native English speaking voice actors, but then it gets very thin after that very quickly. So it was a challenge to find the right people, but the voice acting, I think, is one of the really outstanding strong points of the game, and we're lucky to work with some really great voice actors here.
Yeah. Also, especially the driver of Ride 2 was a very challenging act.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah, and
Saeed in Ride 4
the guy did an awesome job.
has to speak English and Arabic, and so that was a tricky casting job as well.
Okay.
I would like to discuss those 4 options with you. So my gut feeling is that this guy and I, Warren and I, we have met before. That is my gut feeling.
Go for it.
Does it make a difference, like if I choose this or that or what it is?
Well, he'll
It's
tell
like
you a little something, but you get there eventually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Huh.
we've met.
Yeah, you got it right first time.
Ooh, I got goosebumps.
Twice, in fact.
Creepy puzzle game. Nice.
You showed up at my trailer park taking photos. At first, I was a bit suspicious, since there were plans to kick us out and develop the trailer park into some kind of shopping center. But then it became clear that you'd been sent here by a magazine to do one of the stories about vanishing
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
people's heartstrings with the rest of the country.
What about that lady?
No, I didn't actually meet her.
Uh-huh.
I just know what you told me about her. She was backpacking around Europe without you. And you weren't taking it so well. Kid, I told you, you don't want to go down that road.
Patrick, when you were talking about rejection by presenting that game or rejection while trying to pitch the game to a publisher, I mean, how difficult was them to sell a concept of a game that has not been there before? I mean, usually they are looking like for something new, but it should be not too new to be like unproven within the market.
It's a great
That's a
question.
very good question. Well, luckily, also thanks to Humble Bundle, thanks to this article from Killscreen based on our very first fake prototype we created based on Truxin, we had material to pitch. And then we had like a solid half-hour prototype in the end, and which I was like showing to in different events and you know, pitch and me to match events and so on. And the feedback was pretty positive, you know, like, you know, there's people you're talking to like are really very much deep in the game scene, and they're really happy to see like a fresh take of this, you know, media, like medium, like computer games. And but yes, unfortunately, many times the answer was like, oh, this is really interesting, but maybe it doesn't fit our portfolio and so on. And but I would really like to see this happening, and so I got a lot of rejection because of that. But the people really highly appreciated the concept. But for many, it was like maybe too risky to do. But I even got some email from one publisher who rejected it when the game came out and said like, oh, I'm so happy that this game came out because you pitched it to us, but I couldn't take it, but I'm so grateful about it, and I played it and I loved it.
Yeah, everybody wanted somebody else to do it, basically.
Yeah.
But I think also narrative games are real, like, you love it or you don't, and the people who loved it really loved to lean into it this far.
Yeah, it's also funny, you know, like being in the passenger seat, like, you know, it's like, oh, there's not much agency. I mean, if you look at the game Gone Home, like, which is very much about like a walking simulator, about some environmental storytelling, and actually basic simple interaction, just like finding a key and open a door, and that's it. A Hitchhiker, in a strange way, is seen by some players who write critics, like user reviews about it, who doesn't have enough gameplay. But in a way, Hitchhiker has more gameplay than Firewatch and Gone Home together. So if you play the full game of it, but since you're sitting, like a lot of people perceive it in a different way. I think like, oh, this is like not a game, even though it has so much little puzzles. I mean, as I said, it starts very slowly. There's a lot happening in this ride, in the end, and in the other rides.
Yeah, but I mean, at least I can share the opinion. Like, it feels like with Gone Home and Firewatch, you have at least the agency of being able to walk around by yourself.
Yeah.
And here, you're just sitting there. You're just free to look around and interact with stuff. But it's just like it's difficult to perceive that.
That's exactly the point. For many people, it does make a big difference. Like, even though if you think about it, it's walking around, and on the other hand, it's also kind of pointless. When you're just walking around. And also, it was like for us, like the challenge, it's make something different, you know, like where you're actually not walking around, but you're like sitting and then build it up from there.
Hey, Chief.
So
Why don't you have a look here?
Oopsie.
Who's that?
Something appeared.
I didn't see it. Oh, it did. Oh my God! What the heck? What?
What?
Yeah.
Good.
There's a person. Don't you see there is a person in the back seat now?
Why don't you have a look here?
I have. I
You
had
have to click on
goosebumps
it again, actually. You just
I don't want to
click.
click on it again. Oh.
At the same time you did. I guess he's part of what you're running from.
This is your only chance to turn around. Oh, he's gone.
There's no one.
What? What is more interesting, how he did vanish or if he was there the whole ride?
Follow your heart.
Not sure. You can't see him directly. He only shows up in mirrors, windows, pictures.
Pictures.
When you were showcasing the game at conferences, at expos and so on, I mean, did you simply let the people play? Because I guess it takes more like how to get the people into that, because I think you need more than just 2 minutes to understand what's going here in this game and how it's different from other games.
Yes, actually, that's a good question, because I was like really happy about what I experienced when we were showcasing the game on fairs. You know, like I'm serious. Like, 90% of the players who would go there, pick up the game, the first ride, the prototype of the game, start the game, would actually play for half an hour to finish the first ride.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And that
Yeah, that
really
was
happened.
really validating
that
feedback.
happened, you know. Yes. So people were like waiting in line sometimes, or people would like come back. It was like, oh, still someone playing and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It was really a very cool experience.
Yeah, because I think it's usually very challenging. I mean, if you have a couch co-op game with 4 controllers, people can easily sit together. The 4 of them have fun immediately. But with a game that takes some time to get into it, very difficult to be successful then at expos from my perspective.
Yeah, but this game really creates like this atmosphere and an emotion you can experience. I mean, best understandable if you really like focus on the game. Like the moment like we are talking about the game, always like kind of interrupting the atmosphere might not be the same experience. So but that really happened, and that made I'd be very excited about the potential of it. So
That is
I
not a
love
quick
this game.
detour. Just saying.
Yeah, it takes you on a quick detour here. It's going to show you something.
I'm scared.
This song you're listening to is a song Dan was playing when he was 16 years old, which is like 20 years ago or something.
There's many inaccuracies with that statement, but I let it slide.
Travels along a road.
But it is true. It's my band that I played the bass in.
The road has been long.
This is where it's now gone totally off the rails. But each ride has a dedicated kind of cutscene that's in a completely different style to provide some variety, and we really I so much fun art directing these. We work with great illustrators to create these scenes.
Length of time that seems neither short nor long. The gate opens, and a guard appears.
Ask guard for entry.
The man asks the guard for entry, but the guard says he cannot let him enter at the moment.
This whole part is a riff on a Kafka story, Before the Law.
It is possible, says the guard, but not now.
That recovers your Berghain experiences then?
Zing!
The gate now stands slightly open.
Slightly open.
His journey has been easy so far.
I'm never going to perceive this the same way again. No.
Even if you could gain entry, there are many gatekeepers after me.
Oh my God.
Who are much stronger than me, and I'm afraid to look upon them. So there the man waits. For days.
Maybe
That is really Kafkaesque, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you should like do a marketing stunt with the Berghain idea.
I can't believe nobody's made a game out of that, getting into Berghain.
Probably.
That would be a fun game.
Are there no other travelers along this road? All these years.
All these.
Let me in! Let me in!
From a voice near his shoulder. It is
Uh-huh.
who made this gate, says a bird perched nearby.
I think that is
So it
important.
exists for no one
But I mean, with just you starting the idea of road trip games, I also encountered quite some bouncer games within my lifetime where people try to capture the experience of managing the club door or not being let into the club.
Mm-hmm. This is like a mini bouncer game inside Hitchhiker. Feed the bird.
Yeah, we used to be. There's also like a challenge about. We put the interaction within the images in one version to make it a little bit more of a gameplay challenge, but we had to reverse it for some reason.
It didn't work on mobile. That
Yeah,
was the mobile support was very tricky for this.
But is it available on mobile?
Yeah, that's the whole Apple Arcade deal, right? So it's playable on all iOS devices.
Yeah.
And
As
crowded
it's
with the
based on
people of
Unity,
other
I guess, or
Yep.
could have taken.
That's right.
There's only one point ahead on the road where all paths converge, where all points join, where the light shines through skin and through lies. But it's never been reached by one of your kind, a traveler who walks on feet.
That is like very deep.
Chasing the bird away.
It's a heavy game.
Mm-hmm.
Said this. He takes a seat next to the traveler, but not before closing the gate. Forever. So when you think about it, who knows how long we've been sitting here, just like this, on this road. Take it from me. It's better to face things with, what's it called again? Fortitude. Better not to feel too much.
And we're back.
Want a raisin?
Monterey.
Okay, I mean, why not? Last time I got a raisin. It was fun.
See? You're getting used to them. Life is like a box of raisins. That's some Forrest Gump type wisdom for you right there. Here, I'll leave the box open for you. Help yourself.
Nice, thanks. How's your experience with influencers or creators nowadays? Do you think that like hurts the sales of the game? I mean, the sales of the game, because if people watch someone playing it all through, do you think they want to experience that by themselves now? If they've seen how it, or if they've seen the spoiler somehow?
Well, that's fine. That's a concern that's behind a lot of publisher skepticism around narrative games. So there's always a lot of concern that this. I can't say, because we'd have to live in two different universes, one that has content creators and one that doesn't, to know the answer to that. But I think our attitude is just make the game that you love and that you want to make, and let the chips fall where they may. You know.
Get enough of these crows together and it's big trouble.
Yeah, well, we had like a Russian let's player, and he had like 1 million viewers.
It's
on
two
the first
2
one.
million now.
2 million viewers on this, but it didn't have an impact on sales.
No, a little small, but not much impact.
Barely. So this is getting important now. Like, remember the bird and the gatekeeper scene and the raisins, and now they all it all comes together. You know, also the meaning of the raisins and stuff.
And also, you know, that little ads on the street, like when you feed the birds, they were actually, smart. I've figured it out.
You guys are smarter than you look. I'm impressed.
Thank you, Dan. That was very cute of you.
Wait, I just have to take a note here.
Don't invite Dan again. Don't invite Dan again.
They kick us out of the industry.
No. What's done is done.
They're gonna grill us now.
I'll stick with the birds.
Stick with the birds.
I get that you're mad, and I don't blame you. But you don't know what's up.
You don't know.
So basically, you're feeding the birds right now with the raisins, so that the flock of birds gets bigger and bigger, and they take control over the car.
Oh.
So you're surrendering to the unknown.
First of all, I want to know the truth, Warren. Stop lying to me, Warren. Second, let me feed that birds. Oh, I can only put them back in the box now? That's boring.
Huh.
Oh, I already got enough birdies.
They're taking control.
I don't know, Copernicus. Why don't you ask them?
Copernicus.
Good question, so...
There you go. Now, do you remember that?
Yeah.
It's the windmill.
The windmill.
It's the windmill.
Exactly. And this is like a very important environmental metaphorical puzzle. So the existence of the windmill and the birds and why you're there will be kind of explained in this puzzle in a very surreal way. So it's a very tricky part now. So this is like for hardcore gamers. So I mean, what do we have here? You know, you drive around the windmill, and the birds. Vern just said like the birds are trying to get to the windmill, but they can't go to the windmill. So why do you think they can't go to the windmill?
Because of the scarecrows. But
Because
how
of
do
the
I
scarecrows, and now you
how
have to
do I
kind of
turn
you have to do
them?
something about the scarecrows so that the crows can get to the windmill. And this whole thing is like actually the whole meaning of the first ride. It's like what Vern wants to achieve is like he's holding back this like a secret from you, and you have to break through. Right.
Oopsie.
Now it's kind of leaking here a little bit on my side. Yes. So now we have again the
How do I-
binoculars, and it's like this
yeah.
weird situation where like you see the windmill on the left side, and then what's called first person perspective from the left side, and the right side you have like a bird's eye view of the windmill. And you can now see that the scarecrows are spinning.
Yeah.
And now you have to kind of take some control over this.
Yeah, but
And Vern just
okay.
Vern gave you a hint. It's something in the car which does the job.
Use the window crank. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, that was like a hint. It was like usually
It's on
the
a
hint.
timer, so
Yeah, it's on
after
timer.
a while, we make it
Yeah.
more and more obvious.
So basically, like you know,
Nope.
use the window crank to rotate and just start and stop rotating the windmill. The
Okay.
scarecrows.
Okay, fun. That is why I got that thingy on the right. Okay.
Do kids nowadays still know that there was a time when you had to crank the window down and not push a button?
So anytime the scarecrow faces the windmill, it just goes down. So you basically turn them around so that the crows can't see them anymore.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, like see now yes, now you got this, you got the one on the right side.
It just takes some time.
Yeah, now you got it. Now the last one. Yeah, you got it. So basically, now the crows can access the windmill, and that's how you unblock your memory, basically.
I got a new picture.
Yeah.
Wait, it came out of the mirror? It was
Like
printed out of the mirror?
Yes. Makes
sense.
You know,
one of those photos that comes out of mirrors.
Sure thing.
Oh, this is restored again.
Oh, that is us in front of maybe the windmill? I don't know.
A silo, actually.
Often something shiny or a piece of string.
The silo is important in the next ride.
Mm.
I'm starting to remember. This is your reward. You get a glimpse into your past.
Yes.
I'm going away for 2 months. I'll be back before you know it. It's practically a cliche. Going to Europe to have new experiences, and yeah, it's corny. But maybe find myself.
I guess I'm just worried that you'll...
Suddenly you have a voice. But only in the past.
Promise. Here's a security deposit.
What a weird box. Did you win this at the circus?
It's great, right? I'll send you something special from Europe to put inside, so you know I'm thinking of you. And then we have our road trip together when I get back. You won't miss me anyway. You have plenty to keep you busy, like that job in California. Story about the
vanishing grape farmers. You're right. I'm worrying too much. I love it. Does it lock?
In some other world, it must, but not here. Okay, trade you a memory box for your Polaroid. Say cheese.
So each ride you get a little flashback, kind of reward clue sequence.
So I think I'm in California.
You know how it started.
Mm-hmm.
The next step any easier.
Vanishing raisin farmers, right?
Very good.
I didn't know that California is great for raisin, or
Yep.
used to be great for
It's
raisins.
the Central Valley.
But it got overpassed by Turkey.
Yes, as Vern says, they're overtaken by Turkey.
So basically now he gives you the challenge of the game. You have to find that box
I
to
disapprove
unlock
just
your...
about every choice you
Yeah.
made on this trip. But I like you, kid, and I can see you've made up your mind. If you want to find your girlfriend, if you want to find out what happened, if you really want to go there, you've got to find that box.
Okay. Where is
I
it?
don't know, kid.
Oh, Vern.
Find that box and the key
Oh, Vern.
before it's too late.
What does he mean by too late?
Well,
Too late for what?
this is where I say goodbye.
What? No, Vern.
If you want to help transport 4
Vern.
bushels across, Just remember, there are many more gates ahead and many more guards. I'm pretty much the friendly drunken uncle of the bunch. Well,
Drunken?
good luck to you, kid. Oh, one more thing. What did the grape say when he got run over by the car? Nothing. He just gave a little whine.
Come on, that is sweet. That's a sweet one. Hi, Vern.
Goodbye, Vern.
First chapter.
Complete.
So Vern was representing like kind of denial, like he kind of doesn't want you to find out what's happening, and that's why he also kept like some secrets in his own like glove box, which is locked and so on. And the windmill is this metaphor, like you break through it, you unlock it so that you get to the secret, to the first like memory.
Revelation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the second chapter is very different than that.
You want me to start the second one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it has 5 chapters, as you could just see. And now we're in chapter 2.
And suddenly you're out of the car,
It's the
but not for
second
long.
on the right here. No, wait, the third.
Don't you remember where it is? I thought you spent your whole childhood here.
Hmm.
But
Do you know what put us on top of the food chain?
Hmm.
No. And please don't say opposable thumbs. Plenty of animals have those. Possums, koalas, something called the waxy monkey leaf frog. They're nothing special. Forget about thumbs, okay? Memory is what put us here. So many of our dreams are set in the places where we used to live. We want to see them, visit them again. There should be a rule, a kind of social convention, the old apartment rule. And it works like this. We can show up any place we used to live and simply explain, oh, I used to live here. There's nothing strange about it. The people who live there just throw open their doors and invite us in to have a look around. So we can go back home again. So we can be whole.
Hmm.
Remember the building? That was on the back of the photo, by the way.
Hmm.
I didn't mean to put you to sleep with my talking.
You're just dozing off.
there we are. Back again in the car.
With
Did
this peculiar guy.
It's another guy.
Did you track by any chance? I mean, are you tracking how many people finished the game when they started playing it?
Mm-hmm. As you'd expect, there's some dropout in the first couple minutes of people just hate narrative games, right?
Yeah.
Like this isn't even a game. We hear that a lot and take it as kind of a validation in a weird way. But usually when people get past the first couple minutes, then they're very likely to finish the entire game.
Okay.
He reminds me on someone, but I don't know on
One of the
who.
teachers?
Nope.
He was based on kind of weird people that you meet in San Francisco who are kind of academic and a bit lonely and want to like talk your ear off about their own strange fixations.
Just a second. Let's find this Asper Street, please. For our inquiries. Like I say, they might have rearranged the letters a bit.
Oh, come on. Yeah, let me quickly check your card first. What is here? Fortune inspect. You will soon be hungry again. Oh, yes. That's right. I already feel it coming.
Fortune cookies.
Postcard. Starlight Motel. Oh, wait. Lola, dearest greetings from book. A lecture. My hotel room is shaped like this? That doesn't make any sense. Olympia, Washington.
You will meet Lola.
Yes.
That's for sure. Lola Montes. You'll meet her.
Bear prophet.
This is right. Yeah, she's an oracle. As I said, the game really picks up very slowly. I mean, in terms of, dramaturgy, I was thinking sometimes, like, as André just asked, like, so how many people finish the game? Because it starts so slow, it does take a while to get into it. So usually dramaturgy, like in movies, like they start with like an action scene and then it says like cut and then 6 months earlier or whatsoever,
Yeah.
So I was thinking like we could have done something like this here as well, to put something like super exciting in the first ride, a very heavy interactive moment, and then boom, go back and then you start with Vern and then continue with the game. Because in terms of the narration, it is important that it starts with Vern and the fact of denial, the emotion of denial and him trying to not to find what is this all about, and then but at the same time it does make it a little bit more difficult to actually enter the game. So we could have used like a very common trick people use in movies, like to create this like tension in a different way. So that's just something we were thinking about afterwards.
That's when I say, keep your eye on the rear view mirror. You, my friend, should know that best of all.
You already found Asper Street, right? Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like
per luck. To be very honest, per luck, it was the first one that I just clicked.
It was like a great luck. Yeah, it was like it was called like an anagram.
Yeah.
The letters were jumbled up.
And I'm pretty sure he is the next guard. So I didn't ask him, are you the next guard? Because apparently he is the next guard. But I did ask him why his car is so messy. And he said he likes to hold on to things. So I guess that is like a little hint.
He's lost in nostalgia.
Yes, that's his purpose. Nostalgia and memories.
I picked you up because I could tell you're looking for something. Something you've lost. We're all looking for something on this road. I've never met anyone.
Cabrera is just asking whether this is Highway 69.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
It's a west to east road trip that you're embarked on. You later find a map that tracks your progress from California.
No, I checked out Highway 69. It's a very different game. I think 69 is a more action-based game about also like a regime, like I think like some sort of it's about what kind of regime, like you kind of escape the country, I think, in Route 69.
Okay.
No, but it's very different from the tonality. Like Hitchhiker, the game we're looking at right now, is like a way more like philosophical, with like a strange sense of humor and maybe
experiential,
deeper writing and stuff.
Yeah, Cabranium, you're also too late because this is the game we mentioned before that started all the road trip genre somehow.
That's right. Thank you, André.
Yeah, kind of. It's true. I mean, there's now the Route 69 game or 66 game or whatever, 69 game coming out, and there's also coming out another game from Annapurna, the publisher, I think from the guys who also made What Remains of Edith Finch, I think. I'm not sure. It's like also a road trip game coming up. So
Right. This is the Sergeant Pepper's of road trip game. So.
Yeah.
uh,
Go to your favorite road trip games dealer and buy them all.
I had the feeling it was
The Sergeant Pepper band of road trip games. It's nice.
yeah, we should make a bundle. We should like contact all the other road trip game people and make a road trip game bundle on Steam. And... Oh, here's a good thing.
Ah.
That makes sense, yeah.
It's this warehouse that contains everything you've ever lost in your
Oh, I want to go to that warehouse.
Mm.
I tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, even feelings not sure about that then.
But you have only 15 minutes to look.
What's your approach on making games? Would you say it's more like art or it's more like business? Is there anything? How do you see that personally?
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, it's both. You know, by making games in general is kind of art. I mean, you can, of course, shift the needle in between like mainstream and art house and like,
Yeah.
you know, and Hitchhiker is definitely more on the side of the art house section. However, I mean, like if you look at like other games which we took as like a benchmark, like as a very great example, I take like What Remains of Edith Finch.
Yeah.
So I love this game or this genre of games, and I also think it's an art piece. So and also like Firewatch and Gone Home and or like Oxenfree and so on. Like I mean, to answer the other part of the question, like in terms of business, I mean those games are very successful in the market. Also, they sold easily 100,000, 500,000 times. Especially like Gone Home and Firewatch. Firewatch like more than millions. With Hitchhiker, we haven't achieved that at all. Even though I would think like people who love to play Edith Finch would love to play Hitchhiker as well. But that's another like aspect of it, you know, the whole PR and marketing aspect. Yeah. So, but yes, Hitchhiker is definitely like a rather artsy game, and the games, the next game we are planning to create will be a lot more mainstream with like a global gameplay mechanic and so on. But will also like live from the high quality of storytelling which like Dan provides.
That's not the sort of book I keep in here.
Yeah, I have only a really simple answer to that question, which is you have to just make a game that you would love to play and then hope that other people will like it as much. And it's very validating when that happens.
Also true. And with Hitchhiker, it's also really like an experiment. I mean, like to make a game where you're in the passenger seat, you know, in a real road trip situation.
Yeah.
And this really experience, you know, when you sit in the car and you're a passenger and you can't do nothing, and sometimes you just look out the window and it's kind of almost boring, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, here is Lola. We can ask Lola. Yes. So,
Lola's a kind of oracle. She's given me lots of good advice, right from where you're sitting. Besides, more to the point, I'd like to check with her about directions, just to make sure we're pointed the right way. See if you can find her here.
So now you have to find Lola.
Well, she's quite small, you see. A toy bear.
A toy bear. A toy bear. So I already checked the paper. There is no toy bear. There's just something about like.
That's funny because you're so fast. Oh yeah, sorry, Astrid.
Yeah. Crash, car crash. Maybe that is something important to me. Maybe not. Harming business.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
bear.
But it's funny you clicked on the newspaper right now because you have to do it again.
Well, Astrid is looking at the newspapers, and there's a question by Sputello within the chat. Do you Mad About Panda. I mean, do you create many prototypes before deciding on the gameplay?
I think we created this prototype for a Humble Bundle that was essentially like a dry run for the whole game, and so in a sense that was our kind of sandbox for figuring out the interactions and so forth. But how to put this? We would like to work with a budget that is more generous to be able to do more prototyping in the future, I would say. This was not a
but usually
big prototyping game.
Usually, like if you have like let's say a strong game mechanic which you use globally in your game, which is not the case for Hitchhiker because it doesn't have like a global game mechanic. But if you do have that, you do have to iterate on this like a lot to improve it and polish it and make it better and better. And you have to test it a lot with like players and testers from outside, and then after the next iteration, you have to bring in fresh people to do it again. I mean, I've been doing this in the past because like my previous games were very heavy on puzzle mechanics, like the Great Cheaters Pudding Panic, which was like an action puzzle game. So that needed a lot of prototyping. Yeah, this is the thing with the newspaper. So you were like so fast that they didn't change the let's say its meaning. But you found the key, and now you will find Lola the bear.
Lola? Her name is Lola. She was a showgirl.
She's a showgirl.
With yellow feathers in her hair.
We'll see.
I'm not that sure if I know all the lyrics. A key. Yes, a key. Oh. With what?
What did you unlock?
Oh. Hi, Lola. She really is a showgirl.
Yeah. She will dance for you.
Where should I place it? I didn't listen to him. Where does she like to be?
On the glove box.
On the glove box.
You just click on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's popping out. Whoop.
Oh. Well. Yeah. Put it up.
Oh.
It's the ball of red song again.
Yes, sometimes directly, sometimes in more of a roundabout way. Lola, dearest, now I'm here with this young fellow here, and well, the warehouse. Now, it's left up here on Concord Avenue, right? She's not ready to talk yet.
Oh.
She's lonely, and she misses her friends.
Okay.
Fellow memory objects. That's her preferred company. Trinkets like her, lost and found many times over the years, imbued with the memories of everyone who's ever claimed them as their own. Get enough of them together, and things start to get interesting. The present moment peels back like wallpaper to reveal the past behind it and the future ahead.
Another strangely philosophical driver.
Yeah. Do you have a Discord server running for your community? Is it difficult to grow a community around a narrative-driven game? Because I mean, when people finished it, it's finished somehow.
Well, people like to share interpretations and trade thoughts about the meaning of it.
Okay.
So we get a lot of
it is
engagement on that.
difficult, actually.
Some tube socks. I was on the escalator, trying to leave the mall. Do you ever have that thing where you buy something and you know it's the right thing, but you start worrying about it just as you're leaving? I was staring at the socks, wondering if they were the right length. Now, I knew they were, but I must have not been paying attention, because suddenly I slipped down that crack at the end of the escalator, right where you're supposed to step off.
So, but I didn't get that in the end. Is there a Discord server now? Was it a yes or no?
We don't have one on our account. Like, we have a publisher for the game, and they are responsible for like marketing and PR and stuff. And They have a Discord server, but they don't in particular run a Discord server for a Hitchhiker, basically.
Yeah, but there is engagement there.
Oh.
That's what they call the entrance.
Now you're under the escalator.
Mm-hmm.
So that fake grass carpeting, so the landing isn't so rough. It's the most fantastic place. Under the escalator, just vast, like falling out of bed and landing on the moon.
I feel like this could be its own little kind of standalone piece of entertainment.
Very poserish scene down there. Let me tell you.
Poserish scene.
It's also Berghain again.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you're inside the Berghain. You made it.
We can't unsee it now.
Only gets a few channels. There's some other board games lying around, but they're all missing pieces and instructions.
Huh.
There was one box that promised 8 games in one, but I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to play a single game. A couple of decks of cards, all incomplete. I must have dreamt 20 times that I found the 4 of clubs.
He is missing a lot of stuff, huh? He's looking for a lot of stuff in that warehouse, I guess.
His lost dog, Hops in particular.
Escalator every year on January 1st. Clear everyone out. Then, well, yeah. I fell in the beginning of April, one of the last cold weekends of the year. Really tough thing to get your head around, being trapped in there almost the whole calendar year. Pretty much the only thing that passes for excitement there is when somebody new drops in. Pretty quickly, you learn to tell the difference between the real people and the mannequins they drop down the chute.
Uh-huh.
Sure. That's how they keep everyone fed down there. They stuff mannequins full of food and supplies, put them on the escalator, and just let them slide down the chute. Well, that's a big moment. When they drop the mannequins down, really breaks up the monotony. Everyone rushes over to tear the mannequin apart to get their hands on the food inside.
Huh.
Oh, indeed. But I guess it's the easiest way to get the food to slip down the crack. You know, one time, a real guy fell down the shaft and was mistaken for a mannequin. Now, he was half torn to shreds before I pulled him out of there. Poor fella didn't look lifelike enough.
That's not funny.
I just love the work that the artist Maurice did with this.
Yeah.
The eccentric personalities and the whole vision of it.
He gave me his pipe as a token of appreciation for saving him from the mob.
Now you're back.
I still keep it in my pocket.
But it's darker.
Maybe. Let's try it again. I don't think so. I think I need to put some stuff in. Oh! Yes, yep. Nice pipe. Yes.
You're always too fast.
I know. That is because I'm so impatient.
That's a gamer.
Yeah.
I'm so impatient. I'm sorry. Okay.
A little bit.
What now? Clicky? No, actually.
Put it to Lola.
But how? Ah.
Look here. Are you feeling more chatty now? She says her teeth.
How long did you spend on doing the voiceovers and the audio recordings therefore? Well, I mean, the game is quite heavy on it.
Yeah, it was about 1 marathon session per day per driver.
Okay.
And it was very, there was a lot to get through, but we had, as I say, very seasoned voice actors who were real pros and able to get through it.
Okay.
One of the hardest things is the driver in Ride 4, a character called Saeed, has to speak in both Arabic and English. And so we found a voice actor, Samir, who's fantastic, but he's Egyptian, and the character is supposed to be Iraqi, and these are 2 different types of Arabic. So he actually practiced this like Iraqi vernacular version of Arabic, and so that was really quite an experience for all involved.
Yeah, spoiler alert. The character of Right 4 is also based on a real character from the real world, and is kind of talking about his experience being a refugee, trying to escape to Europe, basically, crossing the Mediterranean on a boat and stuff.
Yeah, that was the one point where real world and sort of current events actually enter the game. There's a nice change from the kind of navel gazing tone of the rest of the game.
In a way, two guys like us who were side by side, both waiting for something to
I mean, I think we lost Astrid for today, but we slowly need to wrap it up and come to an end.
Yeah, this is why I tell him now that this is boring, because I want to find the third object and get Lola like talking.
Yeah, well, what we can say right now is like basically, you know, when you collect enough memory objects, Lola will be turned into a puzzle where you.
No. I'm just missing like one memory object. Let me get that memory object, okay?
Maybe.
It's a reasonable question.
I don't want to talk.
I mean, definitely. Just to sum that up, the game is available out there on nearly every platform. It's called Hitchhiker. Everyone should definitely take a look and buy it twice on every platform. And also, if you need a gift for Christmas to everyone,
well said.
Get it 3 times then. And can you tell a little bit about the game you're working on right now? You already mentioned it briefly before, but what's going to be expected next from Mad About Pandas?
The next game is set in 1970s San Francisco. It has tonal similarities with Hitchhiker in terms of very character-driven and very dialogue-driven. But as Patrick mentioned, it also has a really compelling and addictive kind of central game mechanic as well. So we feel like we went kind of all the way far out on the narrative side, and now we want to incorporate other more like conventional aspects of gameplay. And we're very excited about it.
Yeah, and it's about reality. What's real? The new game.
In that sense, it's very much like Hitchhiker.
Okay. But you're sticking to the genre of more narrative games now and less to the action side somehow.
I'd say the next game is more of like a hybrid, or has aspects from each. But each camp, as it were. But definitely. Narrative is sort of like the horse that we rode in on. So we're going to continue riding that horse.
Yeah, but it will have a very strong, unique like game mechanic, which is like all over the game. Not like Hitchhiker, where like each ride has individual like, mini puzzles.
Yeah.
No.
I love that scene, Astrid, with the Tic Tac. It's so funny. It's like an homage to the Matrix when you choose the red or the blue pill, basically.
I took the red one.
And he tricked you. Hobbs just tricked you.
He did.
I can't remember what pill is for what again. Which one lets you stay in reality.
The blue pill is the...
Oh, I still can't give her like the third. Why can't I give her like the third thingy?
Well, you don't have you haven't found it yet.
Huh.
Oh.
You can't just use anything. It has to be a memory object.
Oh.
I mean, okay, the burnt photo, damsel in distress, etc., etc. I get it. But if you can't remember anything about her,
we'll always have this.
See, this is Lola's influence. It's starting to work. You feel it, right?
All you have to do is find your way back to me.
I'm on it.
Let's keep him as our pet.
You two didn't even mean to capture it. It just flew into the empty bottle. Well, for your sake, I hope so.
It looks like...
I think you know.
Yeah.
Astrid is not going to stop this until she figures out how
until
it
you
works.
tell me to stop, right?
Well, this has been great fun. I wish we could play the whole game in a series in a 3.5 hour stream, but we'll have to leave Astrid to her devices.
It was definitely great fun to have you here. Thanks a lot for being with us and telling us more about Hitchhiker and giving us some insights in the development process and also the process of pitching it.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
So thanks a lot for being with us, and we are definitely excited for your next upcoming title then out of San Francisco in the 70s. It was a
I
pleasure.
will finish,
Astrid, how's
by
your...
the way. I will finish. Yeah, sure.
We
Not
sent
right
you
now,
five-
but I will
sent you
go
five
on and
Steam
playing
codes.
later.
By the way, I sent you 5 Steam codes via email while we were doing this session here, so you might want to like check your mail, Astrid, and maybe give away some Steam keys to the audience.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds actually good.
Yeah, because
Of
while we
course
were
I did.
speaking here, I was like, I contact our publisher, like, I need 5 keys, you know, and they sent it, so let's share them.
Do you know how this ruffle thing again works?
Yeah, that is like the question, but let me quickly check. I think I can make it very easy. Thanks. Yes. Moobot. Oh, it's new. Features. No, commands.
You got it?
I got the keys.
Wonderful. Yeah, Hitchhiker is a very odd, weird type of game, and it's not everyone's cup of tea, that's for sure. No, it polarizes a lot. But the people, like we can see by the user reviews, like most people really love it, and they give us a great feedback. But some people really just can't deal with this. It's like with like an whatever special type of movie, you know. It's quite weird. So this game was also very much inspired by talking about movies like movies like David Lynch, you know, like Twin Peaks and Mulholland Drive and so on. So and it's the idea of the game that it doesn't really explain it to you what really happened to you. It kind of gives you the chance to have your own interpretation and come up with your own like idea, rather than like putting it right into your face. So the ending is also like that. So it's like it all makes sense. It all comes together, but it's a challenge to kind of read into it. But that's the purpose of the game, basically.
Don't spoil it now.
As I'm a very talented person, I just created a raffle with our very nice Mobots. So people in the chat, you can just type hashtag Hitchhiker to actually participate that raffle.
All right.
So you guys should do that now. I can draw the winners later. That would be nice. No, just imagine like nice music in the background.
Yeah, the music is also from Berlin composers, most of it.
Is it like, does the music actually change between the chapters? Because I mean, the first chapter that was like, you're out in the wild with all those golden colors, like that fierce, and you know, the music was very fitting. But in the second chapter, it was complete other music actually. So I just assume
every chapter has a theme, and we really tailored the music and the whole and ambiance and experience to each theme. So I would say it's much more like episodic than being this completely consistent feeling from beginning to end.
See. So no one wants to win like a nice Steam key for Hitchhiker? Only 2 people participating, or what? What is wrong with you? I mean, I love the game. I gotta play that for sure later.
Some sure winners.
Yeah, I see some sure winners at all.
Yeah.
Phew.
Well, that's fine. Great. So
you know what we're going to do?
Road trip.
Patrick, we're going to raffle the remaining keys on our social media channels.
Yeah, go ahead.
That sounds good, right? So Cabrani, Yum, and Spotello, I will contact you per direct message. And the other keys are going to be raffled on our social media platforms. Nice.
Excellent.
So and that is the end, right?
Sadly, yes.
Perfect.
Dan, Patrick, Astrid, was great having every one of you here, being together with you and playing the game.
Thank you guys. Again, it was a lot of fun.
All right.
I did
Bye,
enjoy it as
everyone.
well. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.